Hello everyone, it is I, McLord, and today I am playing Chronomalies with the new support. I asked the people on YouTube to choose between Chronomalies and Sharks for the next video, and the people have voted. So first and foremost, we have to talk about the new skill, which does exactly the same thing as the previous skill, aka sending a monster from your deck or extra deck, well, in this case only the extra deck, to the graveyard in order to modulate the levels of the monsters you control, but with the key difference that this one allows you to only send from the extra deck, and it does put monsters in the extra deck for you to send before you have to commit to making an Xyz play, but also allows you to play stuff that isn't Chronomaly or number monsters in the extra deck, meaning that we get to play Trap Tricks Rafflesia, a Beast Dweller, which is still pretty decent in this meta. This is a number, and this is a number too, but Evil Storm Exciter Knight isn't a number, and it's like still the most efficient way of clearing your opponent's board, going second, which is pretty cool. And like I said, another key difference with the skill is that it puts 4 monsters in your extra deck in order for you to use as toss material, but it also puts Exodia so you can play the lightning when you remember to activate the skill, foreshadowing something that happens later in the video maybe. So yeah, this is basically a buffed version of the previous skill, which I was okay with. I think there was a well-designed skill in the sense where it allows a rather dysfunctional archetypes in the form of Chronomalies to operate as they normally would. You know, like how are you supposed to make rank 5 plays when you get monsters that not even are the same levels? That doesn't make any sense. But now you can do so. On top of the new support in the form of Arkham Battle figures, and the trap card Esperanza Glyph, the first of which is protection from the hand and can also special itself from the graveyard to serve as Xyz material, which I think is pretty cool, but does lock you into Chronomalies for the turn, and the second being a searchable trap thanks to Nebra Disc, that also allows you to go into an Xyz monster during your opponent's turn. So basically the new turn 1 game plan of this deck is not the mana pass, it's you make a rank 4 of your choosing, Dweller, Rafflesia, or maybe even Exciter Knight if you're feeling spicy, or maybe Utopia if you're feeling like losing, I guess. You set the trap, and then you activate it during your opponent's main phase, and you immediately go into a V-mana, so you don't get the benefits of starting with a V-mana that has 3 materials and gets a 4th one during your opponent's turn. That's okay, because you still have access to monster negates and whatever disruption you have access to. Rafflesia is probably the best because that's disruption straight out of the deck, with the trap hole cards that are not half bad in this current meta. On top of that, we are playing a bunch of non-level 4 Chronomalies. Chronomaly Moai is an iconic card for sure, and basically a free extender. Crystal Burns helps in the worst possible hands. Crystal Skull is an easy way to get some of your better cards out there. And a combo of figures is protection, and like I said, can also serve as a starter thanks to the skill that asks you to discard a non-level 4 Chronomaly to search a non-level 4 Chronomaly before putting number monsters outside of your deck to your extra deck. So all in all, I don't know, I kind of like this deck, but as you're gonna see, I still feels like it's missing something to be a true meta contender. There certainly were people tinkering with this deck. I think I pretty much stole this version from Zaga Zaga's top 4 finish in a recent tournament. I don't know, I'm not convinced that, well, especially in this very loaded meta, that it's the best thing you can be playing out there. It's still pretty fun though, as you will probably see with the following replays. This here replay is going to be against something I forgot actually. I forgot what they were playing. But I'm going first, which never happens to me, especially when I'm trying to showcase a deck's potential going first. Unfortunately, this is one of the worst hand I could have opened with no Nebra Disc. No Nebra Disc is never a good thing, so I'm just gonna use this skill to beach Moai, banish the Moai for technology, get a Crystal Burns, send a figures to my graveyard, which is then going to be brought back. Activate this skill in order to turn the normal summon Crystal Bones into a level 5, and then make the mana pass. which is kind of depressing when you think about it. Why don't I go for anything fancier? It's because figures locks you into chronomalies for the turn, and I figured that I might as well just go into Vimana, even though that means this is a completely useless card, at least for the time being. I'm just gonna set 3 pass, so that's Vimana, that gets to equip, so there's 3 materials. It's basically just the old deck, especially with Barrage Blast. My opponent is gonna, you know, normal summon Endor, special the Test Tiger. I'm just gonna Barrage Blast and destroy them, and then I'm gonna equip with Vimana, so they still has 2 material, and they lose the game because they were playing a worse deck than I, but just wanted to showcase that even with the worst possible hand, there is still something that you can do, and also, this is the one reason we're playing Crystal Bones. It's a normal when you don't have Nebra Disc. And that's good enough for the skill. That's kind of sad. This replay is going to be against, you guessed it, Trains! Another deck that comes from Zexal and people are really obsessed with, even though it doesn't really do anything all that interesting anymore. This time I did open Nebra Disc, which is cool, so I'm going to get to actually showcase a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm going to normal the Nebra Disc, get the Esperanza Glyph to my hand, then activate the skill, pitching a Crystal Balls for a figures that I'm going to keep in hand for protection. Special the Moai that I already drew because I am based, use the scale to send a to the graveyard in order to turn all my monsters to level 4 so that I can go into the rank 4 Traptrix Rafflesia. I wasn't sure if I actually went to Rafflesia to look for a second, but I did. And then I'm going to set both the Crackdown that I drew and the Esperanza Glyph and pass the turn. My opponent is going to normal summon Bullet Train with their skill, which is then going to trigger the Derek Rain in hand. Sorry, I'm just going to respond with the Trap Tui, targeting the Uyuk in my graveyard in order to special 2 level 5s so I can go into a Vimana. Something very important to note with this trap specifically, if your graveyard target gets DD crowed, you're shit out of luck. I've lost games because of this, so whether or not you want to target the monster that you have on the field, the monster that you have in your graveyard, depends on whether you feel like your opponent has a DD Crow or a Book of Moon. 2 out of 3 times it's better to target a card in the graveyard, but sometimes they have DD Crow. Anyway, I make the Vimana here, going to Derek Rain. Wow, that's really cool. Oh look, Super Express Bullet Train is gonna get summoned here. Wow, that's a bunch of... and then they're gonna make a rank 10 Sky Palace Gangaradite, because they do not care about my Traptrix Rafflesia, which is just going to activate here, sending Void Trapple, destroying that thing. Oh, but look, Super Express Bullet Train can attack because of the skill. I didn't think about that, so I'm gonna have to use Crackdown on it, which feels kind of bad, actually. And then I'm kind of stuck here, because, well, I can make the Vimana really big, give it a bunch of attack, but I can't attack with the Super Express Bullet Train. I cannot use the effect of Nebra Disc because I do not control only Chronomaly monsters, which would have been really funny, you know. I guess I could have tribute summoned the Akambara figures, but that doesn't sound all that good either. I guess the play was tribute the Rafflesia, right? Normal the Akambara figures, and then use the Akambara figures that I don't have engraved, so actually that was not the plan. Anyway, they're gonna activate the skill again. Oh look, it's a Freight Train Derek Rain. Oh look, it's Bottomless Trapple, but that's gonna trigger the other Derek Rain in hand, which is completely fine because I can negate it with the Vimana, which means that they lost their normal for the turn. They're gonna set one and then gonna equip Vimana with the thing so it has more materials again. Cool, I drew a Nebra Disc, and Nebra Disc is gonna get me a Chronomaly technology, and then I'm gonna activate the scale because I can use their monster as Xyz material. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and I send Utopia. So all I can go into is Evil Storm Exciter Knight because Chronomaly Chateau Uyok requires, I think, true Chronomaly monsters. They're gonna crack down by at the Forbidden Land, so it doesn't really matter either way, and she's gonna make the Vimana really big for no reason. Actually, I made the Exono Knight really big just in case that was not enough, so that's lethal 9 win the game. Wow, that wasn't close at all. That wasn't close and I still messed that up. And for the duel against Pegasus, I forgot what he was playing also. I am not really good at remembering, but I'm going second this time, so I guess this is the one replay where I showcase the deck's ability to go second against 25 cards, whatever. I did open Nebra Disc Esperance Glyph, so that's kind of funny. Oh, it's Tenyi. Of course it's Tenyi. They're just gonna Mphora here. Send Mphora Grave, get a Monk of the Tenyi. Reversal, Dragon Cycle, send a Shona, get another Mphora, which is really weird. I don't think you would need two Mphoras, but you do you. Maybe they already have the Shtanas in hand. No, they summoned it off of the Shona. This is just Tenyi combos from like... When was Tenyi meta? 2023, last year, right? Anyway, they're just doing the exact same stuff that they always did. Which is Berserker Pass. Not really impressive. Nebra Disc is here. I'm going to activate the effect, but oh look, they have an effect Veiler, which smart keen-eyed viewers will have noted that they pitched an effect Veiler for the Shaman of the Tenyi, which betrayed the fact that they had another one. Even though I don't think they necessarily needed to pitch it, because effect Veiler is not once per turn anyway. I'm going to send Uyok, and I'm going to make a Beast, and then I realize, oh wait, I can't really do anything, so I'm just going to set a bunch of cards, activate Dweller and pray, and hope that this is enough to prevent them from doing anything. Hey, it's Editing McLeod here, hope you're doing fine. The play I actually wanted to make was to go into Utopia the Lightning, which would have required me to go into Utopia, but I did not have Utopia in my extra deck, because I did not activate the first part of the skill, which puts Utopia in your extra deck. Oops! I don't know if the Lightning would have not triggered the Shtana, but that's the play that I wanted to make, and that's why I didn't make it and made a terrible Dweller Pass play instead. So I talk about it in the past game, but don't make that mistake, kids. Alright, back to the video. Activate Dweller, and then immediately after activate the Esperance Glyph to get 8 figures and a Moai. Go into a Vimana that I will be able to boost so that it grows bigger. They think they're just gonna go straight to battle, kill my Dweller, because that was kind of a silly idea, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm going to Nebra Disc, get a Crystal Skull that I'm going to pitch for a Akambaro figures. I'm going to use the Vimana effect, equipping the Oyakus material, set against a bunch of attack, and then, oh no, they're gonna Shtana because I don't have a Dweller anymore, but it's fine because I can still negate with Vimana, something that I wasn't completely sure of, which is why I made Dweller in the first place. That was kind of a mistake. Anyway, I'm just gonna attack with Nebra Disc, which is pretty cool. So I think I got this game on lock. Oh no, it's any Spirit Adara. I'm gonna have to equip something from my graveyard, so there's 2 materials once again. They get the Adara. They're gonna go for the Monk of the Tenyi. Monk of the Tenyi, everyone. Adara is gonna get back the Shona that they're gonna be able to summon again, and then special Shona, and then they link that up into a second Monk of the Tenyi, and then the Mphora that they searched the very first turn, remember that? That they're gonna all link up into a Draco Master of the Tenyi, but unfortunately I did have the Void Travel, and although the mana effect I introduced it, they're gonna use the second part of the Legend of the Heroes, which I don't think I've actually ever seen being using at me, to return all the cards to the extra deck and then reveal the Shura in hand. Then I'm going to negate the summon of, they're not going to be able to do anything because they can't have anything. I'm going to use the second effect of Nebra Disc in order to special it back from grave, and from there I can just go into a rank 4 of my choosing, and that's lethal basically. So, full disclosure, I lost a lot of games with this deck before I started understanding what I was doing wrong. Specifically, like I mentioned before, DD Crow messing with Esperanza Glyph when you target a monster in the graveyard. But also just locking yourself out of effects in general is something that I tend to do a lot. I didn't notice that this locked you out of effects. And in the last game, you might have not noticed it, and I forgot to talk about it because I'm an idiot, but I did not activate the skill. Meaning that I did not have a Utopia in my extra deck to rank up into Lightning 2. Which is why I made Dweller Pass instead of making Utopia rank up into Lightning and punching the Berserker of the Tenyi, which would have prevented them, I think, from activating the Shtana effect in Gravel. Might be wrong about that though. And then, you know, this deck doesn't have the greatest matchup against Sacred Beast, which is like a plague on ladder. This is like the single most brain-dead deck that you could be playing at the moment. It's so annoying and I hate it. And I don't know, this deck in general just feels a bit too fair, right? It feels like it should be doing something more broken if it wants to be able to compete with the less reasonable decks of this format, and I'll certainly are a couple of them. Do you agree or disagree with my assessment of this deck? Either way, please make sure to let me know in the comments of this video, and thank you for watching once again. I especially want to thank Dingust, OutishBoy0, Jimmy, Zinnia, and Yannick. I think I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, please let me know because I'm such an idiot and I can't read stuff. Have you seen how I say Uyuk all this video? That was painful. Thank you all for your generous donations. Updates on the cat, they're doing fine. And we have 2 fans now. We only used to have this one that is right next to me right now. I'm using it. I don't know if it's showing properly on camera. You can see there's some cat hair stuck in the wings of the fan. That's great. Anyway, this week is looking to be not as hard as the previous week. So hopefully I won't have to take my cat to the vet again. And also, we figured out a better way for them to drink. I think they just hated their automatic water fountain, and we replaced them with you know, water bowls that they just drink into, which I guess is a solution. Anyway, thank you once again for watching. Look out for the shark video coming up next that I'm going to record right after this one, and I will see you all next time.